Well, good morning. I'm Ranger Dave, and this is West Valley Rural. As you can see, we're not in the West Valley today. We're up in, that's our mountain cabin up in Seligman I built some years ago. And so we're up here visiting. And we're going to do something different today. Now, there's two routes that will take you up into Seligman to connect you to the 10 to the 40. And that's up through Wickiup, and that's the 89 as well, up through Prescott. But now that we got the Jeep, there's one route I've been wanting to take for quite some time, and that's the back road, okay? That's essentially connecting up the 40 to Baghdad through the mountain roads. And we're gonna do that today. Hopefully we don't get, well, you know, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be using one of these. We got a map, a gazetteer, and we got a compass. Now you might say, Ranger Dave, I got GPS, I don't need no map or compass. Well, there's a gradation of words that we use for people who do not know how to use a map or compass. First, lost. Then, hunted. Then, bear bait, desperate, running, carry on, and eventually vulture pickings. So yeah, GPS is great, but you really need to learn your map and a compass. That way you can find your ground rather than being put into it. Okay, so we're going to use the gazetteer, and I'll show you how one of those works, and it's really just kind of fun way to do it. And so today we're going to be heading through the mountains, and we're going to see if we can find Baghdad. Let's get started. All right, this is your basic gazetteer. You can find these at any map store or even order online. I like that one store in Phoenix, the Wide World of Maps. That's where I picked this one up at. First of all, you got to find the center, and you can see this, the whole state's divided up in kind of like a grid system. So essentially, you have to find out initially where you're at and figure out which map you got to start with. And essentially, Seligman is right there, right where the 66 meets the 40. Okay, so we're going to need map number 67. So let's turn over to 67. There we are. Then we got to find out where we are on that map, and that would be right here. I've got the area of our cabin circled, and you can see those small little, there's a lot of private properties right in there. And I think we're on unit, officially we're on unit 10 of this development there. So essentially we're going to cut back on Fort Rock Road, essentially to Anvil Rock Road right there. Anvil Rock Road is an exit off of the 40, and that's our exit when we essentially come to our cabin there. And so Anvil Rock Road, this is paved, a piece of this is paved, and this takes you down into some private properties. You can see by the grid system there, this is a mix of forest land and private land. Okay, the blue is BLM, National Forest, essentially. So this, you can see how it's checkerboarded, which is really interesting. Okay, so I've been a piece of this. This is, we've never been, so that's why now that we got the Jeep, we're gonna take that little adventure trip in there, and we're gonna connect up all these forest roads and take us through the mountains, and then we're gonna have to come out, and we're gonna need a map now 73, so let's go to 73. All right, then we got to find out where we are in that map. Okay, Prescott Mountains, Prescott National Forest, right up in there. And so we're going to connect up these forest roads, and hopefully that's 68. We're going to come out on 68. 68 connects you up with Baghdad, and I've driven some of that already. But again, I need the Jeep for right in here. Okay, so we're going to come out in Baghdad. Baghdad is an interesting town because it's one of those few towns in Arizona that's a company town. If you live in Baghdad, you are a renter and you probably work at the mine. It's a big old mine there, and I've heard that they're going to move the town. They're actually going to move the town because they want to expand the mine. So I actually did check before we go. Is the town still there? Because there's one diner that we've gone to one diner in there, and then so I wanted to make sure that diner was still open. And of course, then when you're done, you're going to connect up with the 96, and then the 97, and then the 93. The 93 is what's slated to eventually be the Interstate 11. So they're working on the 93 pieces at a time to turn that into Interstate 11. But this 93 connects you up to Wickiup, and that connects you up to over to Kingman. And then this will take you into Wickenburg. Then you can kind of either go out the 96. That'll take you to Kirkland, or just cut it short. We will see what time we have, and then so that'll decide what route we take when we're in there. But always carry a map and compass with you. I mean, you could do this GPS, but one day GPS, well, you know, what if GPS fails for you? You should always know how to read a map and a compass. It's just a good thing. Smart. All right, let's get started. Development outside of Seligman, and believe it or not, that we actually do have a clubhouse, and technically it's a golf course, not well maintained, but technically that is the bridge that goes, that's the 40. Show on the map, well, one of them is locked, so odds are you probably could get all the way through to Baghdad from Anvil Rock Road, but electronic lock gate, but it's a beautiful backcountry back in here, and it's been a nice drive. And so we're going to be heading back up Anvil Rock Road, connect up with the 40, and head home from there. Well, we didn't get as far as we wanted to go, did we? Okay, but that's okay. I mean, we got to see some really interesting backcountry, and we got to see the northernmost gate of the Baca float. And if you don't know what that is, do a Google search. There's some really interesting Arizona history there. You always got to be prepared to change plans. And next time we'll take that southern route through Baghdad. That'll be just as interesting, and maybe we'll see how far we can go there. You know, real estate in backcountry is a lot similar in that way. It is never a problem to change plans, because that is how you find out how far you can go. Well, I'm Ranger Dave, and this has been West Valley Rule, and we will see you next time.